A shake-up for England's nighttime economy. A new 10 p.m. curfews put the squeeze on this cocktail bar. Part of a careful mix of measures the government says will stem the runaway infection rate. But the move's unwelcome news for a sector struggling to recover. And for these revellers, the party's over early.
The 10 p.m. curfew is limiting our trading capacity. It effectively means that we can only really trade at 25% capacity of what we were doing pre-COVID, and yet all of our costs are pretty much the same.
Thousands of businesses have been dependent on government grants to pay workers' wages. That scheme's coming to an end, but with infections doubling every week, the government's been forced to find an alternative to avert mass job cuts. It's announced it will provide tax breaks, extend loans and top up workers' wages up to 2/3 of their hours for 6 months.
The government will directly support the wages of people in work, giving businesses who face depressed demand the option of keeping employees in a job on shorter hours rather than making them redundant.
While the government shores up the economy, it also wants to tackle the virus by limiting social interaction, weeks after people were told to eat out to help out, something they did in great numbers. There are now bigger fines for not wearing a mask, limited numbers that can attend weddings and funerals, and people are being told to continue working from home if possible. There's also a new contact tracing app launched months behind schedule. It's all a step in the right direction, say the scientists, but some fear it's not enough. Bars and restaurants may have a new curfew, but the virus doesn't.
The earlier you cut it off, you can avoid a lot more cases and hospitalizations and deaths, and we sort of missed that window in March. We can see now from what happened with the curve that if we'd acted about a week earlier, we could have avoided a lot of unnecessary cases and deaths. So the feeling that we're hesitating until it's way too late is a bit of deja vu, and I hope we can do the right thing this time.
With darker evenings drawing in, Britain's bracing for an uncertain winter. For many, this feels like a lull before another fuller lockdown. If infections spiral, Boris Johnson's promised tighter measures. Many businesses warn of devastating consequences. Others ask, why wait? Neave, Al Jazeera, London.